Alright guys, welcome to another tutorial for setting up Victoria 4's SimOne 4 for the bloody option on a Drow. What I've got open here is Poser 9 with Victoria 4 loaded with SimOne 4 on top of that. I'm using the Caucasian skin, and I'm going to want to put the blood on top of the Drow, so my first issue is changing the clearly Caucasian skin to this purplish Drow skin, which you would see here. So there's a lot of different options for doing that since this is a merchant resource. If you're using, I believe the Drow option in SimOne 4, you'll see that I've already made a purple skin for you. There's a lot of different ways to do that. It's up to you how you want to do that. I'm going to be doing a really quick and very low budget option for this. So I'm going to be taking the Caucasian skin, plugging it in here for a color math, and then I'm going to plug the normal map on top of that. I have to apologize ahead of time due to the extraordinarily slow speed of my computer. It takes a long time for my computer to do something that I'm sure anyone who is watching this, their computer can do this in a couple seconds or less than a second. And keep in mind, I'm also recording video while I'm trying to do this, and I'm using a business laptop that's supposed to be used for, at best, PowerPoint. Okay, so anyway, here's a purple skin. So what I'm going to do now is just plug this into the scatter node. I didn't even think I had one. Here we go. I'm going to plug that into the scatter node. That's going to turn the skin purple. You'll see it down here when the computer decides to give a preview of it. Okay, scroll down, and the first issue you pop up with is, oh no, the entire skin suddenly turned purple. So you have to wonder what happened. Okay, well, first of all, let's just do a quick render and see if that is indeed the case. So right now I've got really low grade settings set up for the renders for Firefly. So I'm going to render it with these low settings for everything using displacement maps. Let's see what it looks like. Alright, so I did that render, and as you can see, we end up with the purple kind of Drow skin that we're looking for. However, the blood isn't applied, but you can clearly see the specularity for the blood and everything else that needs to be applied. So what we have to do now is add the blood on top, so we get two different colors, the purple and the red. The purple for the skin and the red for the blood, obviously. Previously, the Caucasian skin had been plugged in with the blood up here into the blender node. You'll see both here. The mask, of course, for the blood being plugged in here. The mask is over here for your SimOne 4 merchant resource. The mask is over there, and that needs to be plugged in at the bottom here. So now what we're going to do is just find out quickly where was the original Caucasian skin plugged in. According to this, it's plugged into the top. So what we're going to do is take the purple and plug that right into where the Caucasian skin was plugged in. Then we're going to take the new blender, well, the old blender node, and we're going to plug that into the SimOne's 4 scatter 2 node, which is plugged into the alternate diffuse node. Which would make more sense if my computer were just a bit faster, then I would just press it and you'd see it. Okay, well anyway, there you go. It's purple and red. Okay, so we're going to plug this in like so. Then I'm going to give it another render, and you'll see what it looks like. Okay, So here you see it. It's been rendered here without any ray tracing or anything. But you can see over here in the render window that the purple drow skin has been rendered with the blood on top of it. You can see that the blood has its own specularity apart from the skin that also has its own specularity, and that's controlled by the mask, which I'm sure you know because you're using SimOne Merchant Resource 4. And just a quick explanation here about the skin. The skin could have been any color. You don't have to use the color math nodes to do this. You could have just painted the skin inside of Photoshop, in which case you wouldn't use this blending option that I did where I used the normal map in the skin. You would have already had this painted. So in that case you would have just blended your you would have just taken your image map and plugged that into a blender node with your mud or blood mask, which is here, and mixed it together. So it would have just been three maps. Do I have a small screen real estate size? It would have been your mud map. Hang on a second. It would have been your mud map plugged into here for your mask, and it would have been whatever skin color you're using plugged into here, and that would blend the two together. And that's pretty much all you need. It's just these two plugged in. And at that point, you actually don't even need to use a blend node. If it's already purple skin or blue skin or orange skin or whatever, you could actually just use a color math node and just multiply both together. And if that weird, horrible explanation doesn't make any sense, please feel free to ask questions and I will explain. I'm just a little frazzled because my computer is unbelievably slow and I feel like I should be able to talk through this, but it's a very, very old computer. So work with me, guys. Okay, I think that's it for that explanation. The next question I'll be covering is how to turn the mud into, no, not mud, how to turn what looks like blood into mud. Yeah, okay. It's my fault because they rhyme, and I think, Sesame Street threw off my brain. It's too much. Alright, so that's enough rambling for now. I'll get back to it in one sec.